Hello and a very warm welcome back here to Eurovision 365. Thanks so much for joining me here on the channel. But I'm also able to say thanks so much for joining me to another of the Eurosong finalists, and that is none other than Isabella Kearney. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. How
Hello.
are you getting on?
I'm
Are you
very
good?
good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Excited to get speaking to you, actually, Isabella. So, first up, congratulations for
Thank
making it
you.
to
Thank
Eurosong
you very much.
2024. You're very welcome. Was it a very conscious decision for you to enter Eurosong 2024, or
Yes.
tell me about how that went? Yes. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Let's
yes.
go.
I've been waiting to apply. I just wanted to have the right song. And so it's been a thing I've wanted to do my whole life. So it was just when we had Let Me Be the Fire, I was like, okay, this feels like the right song to kind of enter with. So yes, it was a very conscious decision and a very exciting one.
A very exciting one.
Yes.
Yeah. Very exciting one. So, very exciting one. You very conscious decision written. Seems like specifically for the actual content, the Eurosong and the Eurovision itself.
So it actually wasn't written for it. It was written as a pitch song for like an EDM person. So I wrote
Hmm.
it with Cutfather, who wrote like Return of the Mac and Katy
Hmm.
Perry's
Yeah.
B65 and a bunch of like massive pop hits. So I wrote it with him, and then this guy Rasmus and Megan Redmond here in Nashville, and we wrote it. And then it was kind of we were pitching it out, and I was like secretly hoping, which is like really bad as a writer, but I was secretly hoping like I really hope it doesn't go anywhere because I felt like it was just right for Eurovision. So I was kind of like
Hmm.
secretly hoping I was because it takes about 2 years once you've written a song for it to kind of get a home. And so it was
Hmm.
a year, and I was like, please, please, no one pick it up. And then Megan and I were together, and I was like, should I just enter it? And she was like, yes. And then that's that. The rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah. When did you get the call to say
I
yes? Congratulations.
I got the call early December, so like not that long ago. Maybe like the first
No.
week of December, and then it was like, you need to be in Ireland in like less than a month, and I was like, whoa! So it all kind of came together really quick.
Yeah, do you know what? You know what? I was just about to ask you that. So we come together very quick. You've only we found out a few weeks ago, really, that you
Yes.
were going to be a finalist. So you're currently in America at the moment. So good morning, America. Good evening, Europe. I always
Me
want to say
from Nashville.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, but so when are you going to be jetting across the old Atlantic to
I leave
come to
tomorrow.
Ireland?
I
Oh,
leave
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, and then I arrive on Tuesday in Dublin.
Nice one, nice
Yes.
one. So
Yes.
bit of time to rest and recuperate from the flight, and then all
I
go, I
I
guess.
actually have a shoot day with RTE the next day. So I arrive at 3 p.m. and then I'm going to be there at 11, and then it's just full steam ahead. There's something
Ah,
on
yeah, of course.
every day, which is exciting and kind of what I've been expecting. So I've just been resting while I'm here as much as I can, so that I'm raring to go.
Prepared. Yeah, yeah. And
Yes,
you mentioned about songwriting as well, Isabella.
yes.
You've worked, you've collaborated and written with some like fantastic, huge artists. And obviously there's a Eurovision connection there with Guy Sebastian as well.
No, Guys
Yeah.
Passion, Jess Mowboy, and then Danny M. I've written with her as well. So who was robbed? I think that was such a good song.
Oh
Because
yeah, yeah,
she came second, which was
yeah.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
As I
Mm-hmm.
think Australians like at back at home, people were like, "Whoa, we actually might win Eurovision one year," and then it hasn't really been the same
Yeah.
since.
But I suppose, I mean, Voyager, who I met earlier in the year, I absolutely loved
Yes, yes,
Voyager, and Donny
yes.
especially, loved Donny if he's watching this. Um, I mean, like, Eurovision's so big in Australia, isn't it, Isabella?
It is.
Why is that? Why is that?
It's I think it's because most people most people that are like recent immigrants of Australia are European. So like my
Hmm.
mum, who came over in the 80s, there's like a big generation, and then like the children of those like people that immigrated,
Hmm.
that still have very close ties to Europe. So it's
Sure.
like kind of like a, I guess, a nostalgic thing for a lot of people. And then it's just worked its way. And then obviously we have such an amazing like LGBTQI community, and
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
love
Hmm.
Eurovision.
Do
So they, I
that.
don't know if you know that, but that's the thing.
Know that.
Um, and so that's like, there's big parties around Eurovision as well within
Yeah.
the community. And so it's just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's I think they must have thought, like Eurovision must have thought, the numbers are crazy coming out of Australia, massive viewership, so they were like, oh, we'll put them in.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned Damien and Guy. Do they know that you are in the Irish final?
I'm sure they do. I'll definitely have to send Guy a message, because he'll probably be like, what? Actually, I should text him. I haven't really told many people at home.
Hmm.
Well, obviously they've seen it on media, but it happened
Yeah,
all so quickly that I didn't get to like reach out to
sure,
people individually.
sure.
But I need to do that, definitely.
You need to do that. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And it'd just be interesting, I suppose, from your point of view, to hear what his experience in that
So
team as well, like what their experience
true,
was as well.
very true.
Yeah,
I've definitely
yeah,
asked them in person. With
yeah.
Darcy, I was like fangirling so hard when we wrote together. And I'm pretty sure I was just like, so
Imagine.
what was it like? Like, what was it like doing? Because there's so much around it that is, I think, the most like exciting part is the community and like all the events around it as
Oh
well.
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not just the motto for Eurovision 365. It's every day, not just in May, and that's the whole thing about Eurovision. Now it is like it starts before Christmas one year
yeah,
to
for
May the next
sure,
year. Yeah.
for sure.
um, so tell me, I mean, tell us a little bit more about your song. Obviously, we've heard it, and there's actually there's a lot of positivity going your direction, Isabella, in terms of the song. It's been, bigged up by a lot of the community. I was checking on Eurovision World just before here, and I mean, it's right up there, in terms of favorites. So, I mean, tell us your thoughts about that, and also about the song, if that's okay.
Um, well, I think with the song, I think it's a obviously like a pop like dance song, really.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
think what we wrote it about was it was really about like anxiety and depression, actually. So it kind of has
Mm,
this thing to it because it was very I was going through a time when I was suffering with quite bad anxiety, and then I also had a friend who had like just a really bad year and had kind of really like disappeared. Like I think a
mhm,
lot of people with anxiety and depression tend to be like, I don't feel comfortable like asking for help, like maybe I'll be a burden. And so they
mhm,
kind of like totally go back into themselves. And so the theme was kind of around that. It was like,
mhm,
let me help you through this. Like I've got you. I'm going to go and like reach out for you and like
mhm,
bring you back into the light kind of thing. And
mhm.
so there is this kind of underlying important message which I think has kind of translated well, because I think people are listening to the lyrics and they're like, okay, this has some like substance behind it as well.
Mhm.
But then it's still a dance song, which we love. So like you can like cry and dance at the same time, which is important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good to cry and dance. I've done that before.
I
Maybe
think
that's
we've
a
all
cry
done
and dance
that.
at the
We
same
all
time.
cry and dance. And then the reception honestly has been so amazing. Everyone has been so nice. I definitely feel, and I think this is like a good thing. I definitely do feel like the underdog in a way in this competition, because I've come in as a songwriter, so I don't have much
Yeah.
of a public presence because we're kind of always behind the scenes. And then obviously I'm not like well known in Ireland yet, and so even just the fact that it's up there is just so amazing, because it's like the song is
Sure.
really speaking for itself, which is awesome.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, yeah, it actually was one of the questions I was going to ask you, Isabella, about, songwriting versus obviously performing, on stage. And obviously you have, and you do
Yes.
perform,
Yeah.
but I suppose for me, I'm thinking about, if being honest, I'm thinking about, a couple of recent performers. Leslie Roy immediately springs to mind, like very accomplished songwriter, like
Hmm.
yourself, but very, very, very difficult, when
Hmm.
it came to like performance. UK James Newman, as well. So I'm not trying
No,
to
no,
be
no, no,
disrespectful. I'm
no.
just thinking about how you will cross that bridge, I suppose, is
Yes.
what I'm
No,
saying, asking.
thankfully I've had, so I studied performance at university. So that's what my
Uh-huh.
degree is in. So I did
Uh-huh.
4 years of like intense performance. And then
Intense.
intense. It was very intense. Lots of musicals and all sorts of things like that. And then I
Yeah.
used to sing on cruise ships. So that was my job for
Yeah.
like 2 years. And then obviously done a lot of work here. So I feel like I was writing full time. I was as much singing and performing. So that's kind of
Hmm.
in my bones.
Hmm.
Um, so it's, I think I'm very excited to get out there and sing. I feel like that part of me has kind of been waiting to come back out again. So I'm ready. Like the pop star in me is like, come on, girl. I'm
It's time
not
to
in a
do
room
this.
anymore. Yeah, so I think I'm lucky in that way that I have had both experiences. So I'm able to have a stage presence because I worked on that for so long. So I hope it translates. I really hope it does. I have very good faith in what we've kind of practiced so far and the ideas. So
Yeah, I mean the song, like, it's, as you said, it's like an up-tempo kind of song, and there is that
yes,
Celtic elements, which is really pretty. Like the kind of like a tin whistly kind of sound
yes,
coming through, or
yes,
certainly very Celtic. Um,
yes.
in terms of performance, I'm not asking you to tell me anything about it, but I suppose I'm curious, is that going to be kind of linked into in some regard?
Well, that's definitely going to be a theme that you might see in some visuals,
I get you.
um,
Mhm. In the
and then
background.
in the background. So we have a very wonderful guy who's helping us who does Hosier's visuals.
Hmm.
So we've got someone really exciting for that.
Yeah. Hmm.
And we have Gavin James's MD, who is our musical director. So we've got some
Hmm.
really wonderful people. So there will be some little elements, and then I'm kind of not giving too much away, but I will be joined by two other musicians on stage as well.
Two other musicians.
Yes.
Interesting.
So there'll be
Interesting.
a live element as well.
A live element. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So they will be
They'll be
playing
playing.
like, yeah.
Yes.
Because that's the thing, I often say, because obviously there's backing tracks and everything now, and obviously the Eurovision and the sort of the older contest, the conception right up until '98 was all like live music, orchestra, etc.,
Yeah.
etc., etc. I always find that, even with Voyager, we chatted about this before, like I was like, what's that going to be like? Because you're used to like doing this
I
live, and
know.
it's like, can't play pretending here, but I
Yeah.
love that you're bringing a live element
Yeah.
to it.
Well,
That's
they
so
won't be like,
crucially important.
I don't think they'll be like live, but they will be
Aye.
playing. They'll be playing their instruments. So yeah, it's kind of, I know that I find that interesting. I guess because
Hmm.
especially on Eurovision, it's interesting that like the vocals are the live element.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I think you can kind of tell. I think that makes it almost harder for the singers
yeah,
because
yeah.
there's like something like organic about if you're all playing live, but if it's just
Uh-huh.
a singer like by themselves, I mean, I think that's why unfortunately a lot of people like fall flat, especially like
Mhm.
literally fall flat when they're singing, which is
No
always
pun
sad.
intended.
It's always so sad. I feel for them.
Good to see some. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I suppose there is obviously that that challenge, isn't it? But even
Mhm.
speaking about challenges, there, the one I sort of posed for you there, it sounds like you're you're ready for that challenge, and you're like saying, "Well, you know
Oh
what, I've got all this experience, and yeah, bring it on," is what you're saying to me.
yeah,
And I
100%.
guess
Feel
everyone, yeah.
I feel very quietly confident in
Mm-hmm.
the song, and then yeah, I have a really good feeling. I'm trying not to get too excited
I
about
get
like
you. Yeah,
results because I'm
I
trying to
get you.
just enjoy the experience, but I don't know why. I just have a weird feeling that it might all work out. So we'll
And
see what happens.
imagine this happens. Look at this.
No,
Woo!
I've been looking at that stage because the way they released it, they were like first look. I know. I was like, oh, it's so cool. I think that would be. Oh, it would just be like the proudest moment of my life. I think that's just the simplest way to describe it. There is something within me that wants to make Ireland so proud. Like it is a deep feeling. You know, I think because I've had such it's been such an interesting life I've had because I grew up it felt so much between both countries, but then I have
Yeah.
an Australian accent. I did used to have a Northern Irish accent, and that's something else we can go into, but I lost it. You can kind of hear it a little bit in some of my words. Um, but so there's always been this kind of half feeling between me, and I feel very much like in my musical roots Irish. So there
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
part of me. Well, there's I don't know. It's just always been this massive dream of mine. It's been on my I used to have vision boards, and it would always be represent Ireland in Eurovision.
Wow. Okay, so you're throwing that out to the universe then,
Oh,
basically, and
I
it
have
was
been
yeah.
manifesting this for years.
Wow. Wow.
Yes,
And it's sort of definitely manifesting in as much as you've got to the Irish final.
I
So
know. I
that's
know.
great.
That's why it was like wild because I got a message from my friend who I went to high school with, and she was like,
Mm-hmm.
"You've been talking about this for 15 years."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like,
15 years. Yeah.
yeah. So this is a long
Yeah.
time that I've been thinking about this."
But it's like dreams can come true.
Oh my
That's the thing.
goodness, I
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I think that's why I'm trying not to get too
I get you.
too too much about what the results will be because I think there will be a part of me that will be really devastated. So I'm just trying to be like, whatever
don't,
happens,
don't
just
go there yet.
but I still just have a good feeling. I'm like, okay, I got this
Yeah.
far. Like the
Yeah.
universe has got my back.
The universe has got your back. Absolutely has. For getting you to the final for sure.
Yes.
You mentioned there. Like, I keenly heard what you said about the north of the
Yes.
island. So,
Yes.
so you were originally in Donegal and on the north. Is that right? Before you
Yes. Yes.
emigrated, yeah.
So we moved. So my mom's from Donegal, from a town called Greencastle, and
Hmm.
that's where all of her sisters and her. So there's like six sisters, one brother. They all lived in Greencastle,
Hmm.
and then when I was four, my mum and I moved to Bangor in Northern Ireland. And
Yes. Uh-huh.
so that's where I did all my primary school. Well, the good majority of it, and
Hmm.
I had a really strong Northern Irish accent, which is really funny. I've been trying to find like videos of me talking because it was like really like strong. And then when I went back to Australia when I was 9, like nearly turning 10, I think just when you're a kid, you just pick up the accent of
Of
wherever
course. Of
you're
course.
from.
100%.
But
Hmm.
my mom has a really strong accent, but I can't hear it, which is really
Right.
weird. I'm completely immune to her accent, and but everyone else who meets her is like, "Your mom has such a thick, like, accent." What?
That's funny. It's funny, when you say that because my late mum as well. I mean, people say she's so strong, so I can't even understand her. And
Yeah,
what?
I
You don't
know.
hear
It's
it
so
yourself, do
funny
you?
how you
Yeah,
get used to it.
yeah. You said you had some words that come out as very strong Northern Irish. What sort of words would I hear? Like, was it I, or is it like it is? So it is. I think
Well, I
that's
always say like we, like I'm always like, "Oh, let's go on a
we.
wee walk." on a wee walk. I used to
Yeah.
say like hook, you know, I'd be like, oh, that like put your coat up on the hook, or like book, and I like kind of have gone out of that because people would be like, what? I still say like auntie and ask, and like there's some things that come out that yeah, that are definitely a little bit Northern Irish, I would say.
Yeah, it is.
Probably
So it
if I
is.
spoke to you for a long time, like, you know, for a good amount of time, it would come out more and more.
Aye, of course, of course, of course. That's good because at least you can understand me, which is a
I can
bonus
understand you
for me.
perfectly. I think
Doesn't always happen.
you have a very clear accent though.
Well, I don't know. A few drinks down, may not
Well,
just be
that's
so
all of
clear.
us. That's any
Sure, that's
accent.
all of us.
That's any accent.
But yeah, but basically, you're going to have a fair bit of support here in the
Yay.
island off, aren't you? You know, you've got those relatives and friends
Yes.
and all the rest of it. You know, and obviously, you know, you'd have like support outside Ireland. You know, should you get to the Eurovision, of
Yeah.
course, you know, you'd not be the first Australian to represent Ireland. I know you were told that. You knew that from Johnny Logan, for example.
Mhm.
But if you had a message, Isabella, to or what I should ask you, the message you would have for the people of Ireland and why they should pick you for to represent Ireland.
Okay, well, I know that I'm going to make Ireland proud. I think that is it's just I have so much confidence in the song. I have confidence in myself. I I'm such a big Eurovision fan too that there's a lot of respect in
Yeah,
this for me. You know, like I really appreciate the opportunity, and I understand Eurovision and what it means, and especially like the Irish pride around it and how everyone's like, we need a win. And I just think that I have a really good shot of doing really, really well, and I love it. So yeah, I just want to make Ireland proud. That's why. That's why.
so pick Isabella. You want to make it
Yeah.
proud.
Plus,
Yeah, yeah.
Australia, we've got Nashville, we've got, you know, we've got a lot of communities that can also vote.
Mhm.
So
Exactly. Got the locals, of course.
we can get some, you know, some good numbers around it. We got the
Are
whole
you?
world.
Look at the whole world.
Yeah.
If you get selected, then Isabel, would you do the pre-party circuits? You know, before they would yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
have to, yeah.
Oh yeah, I can
It's
never miss
it's
a
part of the
party.
whole thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
any party I'm there.
Happy days. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. But no, do you know, all I would say is, Abella, is that thank you ever so much for joining me here.
Of
It's been
course.
absolutely fantastic to chat to you. You know, it's a really cool song. Very like I said, upbeat. You know, got that Celtic element to it. Sounds like you've got a good idea of how you're going to perform that
Yeah.
on the Late Late Show for sure, and then at the Eurovision stage. Um, but yeah, I wish you the very best of luck, and yeah, thank you so much for chatting to me.
Thank you so much for inviting me on. It's been so wonderful to meet you, and hopefully I'll meet you in person soon.
Hopefully you will, yeah, hopefully.
Okay,
Well,
awesome. Well,
Isabel,
thank you.
thank you so much, and take care.
Okay, thank you. Bye.